So when she disappeared from, it was Jefferson County area, which is 20 miles south of Beaver Dam. The last sighting I had gotten of her was on July 4th. And then from July 4th to July 24th, there were no sightings. And one of the things I know that I learned firsthand, and people experience this frustration of what if I always believed she would be found. I started to think maybe I wouldn't be the one to find her, and she'd be moving to to another county or somewhere beyond. But on the 20th, and again, this was Lost Dogs comes in with this. We're so supportive, and other people who have trapped dogs were so supportive. They kept me going. But ironically, on the 25th, I had gotten a call. Our shelter actually had gotten a message, our Humane Society, that that a black and white dog was spotted up in Dodge County in Beaver Dam, 20 miles north. And we were focused on 20 miles south in Jefferson County because we had that extreme heat during this time. We had 90, 100, heat index markers, and so we just figured she was hiding during the day, coming out at night, but was still in the Jefferson County area. Well, when that sighting came in to our shelter, I actually posted it to our shelter page and said, "Are you missing this dog?" And someone posted one of my flyers, my lost dog flyers of her on our page, and that made me think, well, maybe this is her. I started to put her back up on the social media pages in our area, and sure enough, the next morning I had gotten a call that a border collie was in the Beaver Dam area walking on the freeway in the median. Called the sheriff's department and said, here's the story. I believe this is the dog I'm looking for the last 3 months. I said, can you please call me with any sightings or just let me know anything with this dog. And so it really started, it happened pretty quickly from July 25th through that week. We ended up catching her at the end of the week. But again, I from that day, I moved up all my signs back up to Beaver Dam on all the intersections, flyers, and that again is what generated all the calls in that area. And ultimately, I got a sighting from someone who said, yes, I was. We've seen her behind these dumpsters behind some restaurants, and that area was right on an on-ramp of a major freeway that. I also learned she was on this freeway almost nightly, walking the length of it on the sides and the median. We guess she probably was using it to cross also. So an extremely lucky dog. But based on that sighting that came from the sign, we put a camera up on, I think that was July 29th, that we got her on camera for the first time ever in 3 months. So elated, put a live trap out the next day. On Thursday, and then kind of did the process of putting again food in there, getting her on camera, seeing her come to the camera, to the trap. Did that Thursday, Friday. Then we decided Saturday night, this is it. we're gonna because we had bungeed the trap open. We decided we're gonna unbungee this trap. We're gonna catch her. And that night, ironically, there were car races that started up at 8:30 at night and chased her out of the area. But the next night on this August 2nd, we sat out again and said, we hope this is going to be the night. And sure enough, at 9:30, she, which is about the time she was spotted in this area from all the sightings I had received behind these restaurants with these dumpsters. 9:30, it was pouring rain, but all of a sudden we saw her on camera. She went into the trap, and then before we know it, we caught her.
Wow!
So we were elated. Yeah.
That's amazing. I just can't even imagine how she kept herself safe on the highway. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yes.
Yeah. So how is she doing? Did she lose a lot of weight, or how is she?
Yeah, she's doing, I would say, remarkably well. When we had caught her that night, it was rainy, pouring rain, and she was of course wet, and she didn't look too happy when we got her in the shelter, but never made a peep. The next day when we got to spend, gave her a little time to decompress, and we just kept her in the shelter for about a week just to kind of decompress. Really, her temperament was really good because we didn't know if she was going to be really shy, real fearful, but she was loving and liked everyone she met. When we got her to the vet figured she probably lost about 5 to 7 pounds. But other than that, it was kind of remarkable. Her coat for a border collie is a longer coat, medium long. She didn't have a bird on it. She didn't have a mat. She didn't have a piece of dirt.
Wow.
She did have some ticks from going through our Wisconsin kind of farmlands, but her blood work thankfully came back normal. She was heartworm negative. She did not have Lyme's disease. So she really, for being, and that's what I met with a lot of people who, through the journey, I mean, there was, of course, some of the naysayers who didn't think that we'd ever find her or think she would survive. Well, as I've learned from Lost Dogs of Wisconsin and people who have done this, is that their dogs are pretty resourceful. And so she managed, obviously, to eat and drink and was not dehydrated. And again, through some of the hottest weather of our summer. And really, she surprised us all at how well she did and how good she looked. So
yeah, that's really remarkable. When you think about how long she was gone and how far she traveled, you'd expect that she'd have an injury or more weight loss or something, or at least a knot or two. My gosh,
Yes.
Wow. She's like a little miracle puppy.
Yes.
Aw. So how old is she anyways? How old is
Octavia is she's 3.5, so
okay.
she did have that on her side, and she was healthy to begin with, which was a plus. But and everyone that did see her early on too, they said they never saw a dog run so fast, so she probably would love agility.
Yeah, I bet.
We were just amazed, and especially when we got. And the last week, while she was in Beaver Dam, we had the reports, and the sheriff's department called me almost nightly to tell me that they had gotten a report of a sighting, and the reports for 3 days in a row at least were that she was walking on Highway 151. It was again on the median or in the side of the grass, but like you said, we were holding our breaths that she did so well for so long, and somehow managed to come out, come home safe.
Yeah. Well, this is such an important story for so many reasons, and one of them being, that you never gave up, and it gives people hope, which is one of the things I always like to talk about, is giving people hope and telling them never to give up. In this case, you were so dedicated to finding her, and it feels to me like you went above and beyond. Some people will just put signs in the immediate area, and really that's about it. But listening to your story and talking about the importance of the sightings and moving the signs, and you always have to try to produce the sightings and don't give up, because you had 20 days, it sounded like, without any sightings, and you never gave up, which is really important. And this is such a good story, and one that gives others hope, so I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'd say one thing that Kathy Favosky had said from Lost Dogs of Wisconsin is that one of the reasons why people don't find dogs, or the dogs they don't find them, is that they give up too soon. And that was one thing that I kept in the back of my mind, is I would not give up on her until I found out something in her, and I just didn't want to be the one that gave up too soon when there's another sighting, around the corner, or I just, like I said, someone had said to me that she was going to survive and I was going to find her. And I said, yep.
Yeah.
That's about it. So.
Yeah, Kathy's awesome, and she's the one that, recommended that I talk with you, and I talk with her every month, sometimes twice a month on the show, and I've learned so much from her myself. She's just amazing, and her whole entire organization, Lost Dogs of America, they're all just wonderful people. Yep. And have so much to teach people and help them, do to continue to do what you did. So we're just about at the end of the interview already, Karen. So would you like to just, I don't know, tell people about your Humane Society real quick and how they can look at your information? Maybe there's a story about Octavia they can check out as well.
Sure. Yeah, the Dodge County Humane Society, like you mentioned, in Juneau, Wisconsin. We do have a Facebook page, an Octavia's story. We did post it on there with her picture the next, I guess, on the August 3rd. But we are a shelter that we really try for our animals and work hard to find the right homes. And if there's Wisconsin shelters are considered no-kill shelters, where we don't euthanize for age or length of stay, anything like that. And we will work really hard for our animals that maybe they're our dogs with behavior problems or seniors or medical issue dogs, and we will do fundraisers, and we're lucky to have a lot of community support. We'll work with a lot of rescues also. If we have a senior dog that needs a little extra, or we want to find a home, we'll work with a senior dog rescue or a breed specific border collie rescue if we needed to, things like that. So we really try hard for our animals, and again, we're fortunate to have a lot of great support from the community. So
yeah. Well, I really want to thank you for telling Octavia's story to us, and I hope that it, number one, helps people understand the importance of searching for a dog and never giving up and always having hope.
I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. So remember that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives, so please be sure they are microchipped and wearing their ID tags. And if they are chipped, be sure that chip is registered and up to date. Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.